Hello and welcome back to Delibird, the podcast where we talk about literature, games, anime, and Pokemon. I don't know anything about Pokemon, so we have my co-host here, Kellen. How's it going, Kellen?
I'm lovely.
Lovely boy here is a Pokemon expert, and I, think I know about some other things, so we like to come together, watch Pokemon episodes, discuss about them. Are you, listeners, currently doing some shopping? Are you doing some laundry? Are you, shoveling your snow? We're the top podcast for shoveling snow. Did you know that, Kellen?
Oh, is that a category?
Yeah, I found that. On
Spotify?
We did a study recently, a marketing study, and it turns out, we're the top rated podcast for shoveling snow.
Oh. Did you listen to it while you were shoveling snow?
And it was beautiful. We even beat snow-themed podcasts like Going Snowwhere, a snow shoveling podcast. We even beat that one. Going Snowwhere.
I'm going to go out on a limb and say that that's not real.
Oh, it's real.
Is it?
No, I don't think so.
Okay, good. Because that would be awful.
Any other snow-themed podcasts?
No.
I would love to start doing improv just in the middle of our podcast. But then when I'm sitting at the mic, suddenly I can't think. Snow Way Home.
I'm not so good at the improv, so.
Snow Way Home. Spider-Man, Snow Way Home.
You go for it. But
that's the Christmas cut of Spider-Man No Way Home. So let's jump into this. We got two bangers to discuss. One banger, one that bangs. We got 2 episodes to discuss.
Yeah.
Episode 13, Mystery at the Lighthouse, and episode 14, Electric Shock Showdown. I love the name Electric Shock Showdown.
It's fun to say. It's very fun to say.
Yeah, that's like a good band name. Electric Shock Showdown, playing at the stadium tonight.
How did you feel about these episodes?
So we're going to start with Mystery at the Lighthouse. How did I feel about them? They were pretty good. My only hang-up is that Mystery at the Lighthouse lacks a bit of a conclusion. It lacks a bit of like a climax.
Mm-hmm.
Spoilers alert, but it's a bit of a wet blanket. It's good. It just doesn't follow through. Whereas Electric Shock Showdown follows
it's a
through.
Good episode.
It's a tight episode. It's got a strong theme.
It's classic.
It's a good episode, yeah.
Classic.
So, Plot Boy... I maybe wanted to give the listeners a little bit more insight into us first and our dynamic, why we're talking about this. So I'm in my 30s. I do completely unrelated stuff to this for work. I'm in software. But I love books, anime, video games, all that crap, and just wanted an excuse to talk. We'll see if anyone's listening. But I'm gonna talk anyways. Kellen is about a decade younger than me.
Yep.
So we've got that dynamic. And the other dynamic is that you're really into Pokemon.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I've been playing... I said this last time. I've been playing since I was 3. Pokemon Red was my first ever game. And just since then, I've just always played Pokemon.
Yeah, and it's like both your comfort game and you follow all kind of the new stuff with Pokemon too, right?
I've got a lot of Pokemon shit. Like, I can look up. I've got the first 3 regions as puzzles hanging on my wall. I've got Galar map from the Sword and Shield when I pre-ordered that. I got Pokemon figures up on my thing. I got Pokeball tins from the TCG displayed. I've got binders on...
game.
I've got binders of Pokemon cards, tins
binders
of
women.
Not that.
That's a shout out to the 2012 presidential run when Mitt Romney said that he has binders full of women. Deep cut.
I was not following politics whatsoever.
You weren't following politics in 2012.
No, I was not. I was 13.
Shout out to those who remember the binders full of women comment.
Anyway, that's my my Pokemon level.
So I'm going to be leaning on Kellen for those Pokemon insights. I'll try to push him when I think of it for maybe explaining some of these concepts too. And yeah, hopefully we can learn. We, the people who don't know about Pokemon, can learn some things, and hopefully teach Kellen about binders full of women and other dated political references. So this episode kicks us off. There's been a running theme. Like, how long has it been, this Vermilion City arc? It's 4 episodes, 5 episodes now?
Something like that.
Of trying to get to Vermilion City. They just keep getting lost. And it starts again. The narrator is a little bit less sassy this time. He's kind of just come to terms with his existence. Well, this is how life's gonna be. They're lost again. And Ash is like, well, this road's got to be somewhere. Brock goes, everything is somewhere. You earned that philosophy degree, Brock. Very good.
At 15, impressive.
Yes.
Well
impressive.
done. Yeah, so they're lost again. It's a whole mess. But we see the narrator is talking, and we see them kind of marching along a background full of league badges, and the vast majority of them we've never seen. Like, they're not game badges.
So just some artistic liberties.
Yeah, but it leads more into that idea that there are more than 8 gyms and more than 8 badges that you can get. You just need to get 8.
So in the games that this part of the series is based off, there's 8 gyms that you can go to. They have distinct badges. Although the show's been showing that they've kind of world built that there's all kinds of badges in this world, and that the game one has just sort of like cherry picked a selection. That's sort of like the thought experiment.
Yeah, because if you think about it in terms of real world, if Kanto is a country, there's gonna be more than 10 cities, and so it would make sense that there are more than 8
cities that our main characters go to.
Yeah.
Or the badges we're familiar with.
So it makes sense when you think about it realistically that there are many more gyms, and the league rules just say that you must collect 8 badges from 8 gyms.
Right.
Rather than go to these specific cities. Because then also it would be, if you live really far away from where the 8 specific gyms are, you're kind of fucked a little bit. So
yeah,
it's accessible.
I like this idea that that there are cities and towns and stuff like that in this area, even in this region, that we just aren't familiar with. It does kind of give you an extra color of world building, that there could be different routes for this place. And if they ever did a really big sort of open adventure sort of Pokemon game, and I know that's a whole bag of worms, that debate, so I don't want to get into that, but I think it would be cool to have a game where there's 20 gyms, but you only need 8 to qualify. So if you're casually playing, a friend is casually playing, your experiences could be totally different.
Yeah, that'd be cool. I would like that.
Yeah,
that'd be neat. And we learned.
So the narrator really brings this up to basically deliver a whole bunch of exposition about this 6 Pokemon rule.
Yeah, so it's a rule. You have to have 6 Pokemon to participate in the league, or the finals, whatever it is. And Ash, thankfully, has 6 Pokemon. Exactly 6.
Yeah, and he can only have... You can't have more than 6 either.
Well, you can have more than 6, but you can only use 6, and you have to have
you can only have 6 on your person, right?
Yeah.
Although in the Charmander episode, that Dick Van Dyke piece of shit has 30. Remember him? What was his name? Just call him Dick Van Dyke.
From the last episodes?
Yeah.
AJ?
Not that Dick Van Dyke is a piece of shit. He's lovely. I'm referencing his hokey accent in Mary Poppins.
AJ?
Yes. No, not AJ.
No.
AJ was the Sandshrew abuser.
I don't know who you're talking about.
This was the British fella who abandons Charmander.
Oh, Damien.
Damien.
Yeah. Speaking of Dick Van Dyke,
shit, Damien.
Here's just a little fun fact. It's timely. I haven't been watching it lately, but apparently Dick Van Dyke was revealed as one of the people on The Masked Singer this season.
I don't know what that is. Okay,
you need to look
Zoomer,
that
teach
up.
me.
But he's 97.
Teach me what The Masked Singer
It's a bunch
is.
of celebrities in costumes in a singing competition. You don't know who the celebrities are, and as they get eliminated, they get revealed to be who they are.
I thought you only knew about Pokemon.
I know about a couple things.
Oh,
yeah.
Reality TV.
Anyway, Dick Van Dyke was on the show this season at 97, which is pretty impressive.
Wow. Did he sing a Mary Poppins song?
I don't know. I didn't watch it. I just found out about it.
Boomer versus Zoomer.
Yeah. Anyway. back to Pokemon.
Back to the episode.
So Misty's calling out Ash, and so is Brock, and his Pokemon are all calling out Ash that he hasn't really done anything. He's been given badges, and he hasn't been catching his Pokemon, which is kind of a lie, because he's caught 3 of them.
This argument crosses both episodes, that they're really berating Ash a lot, that he's, like, kind of lazy and getting lucky, and Ash is like... And they're like, don't forget about everyone helping you, Ash. And Ash is, like, deflated. He's, like, lying on the ground. He's like, well, you keep putting me down. And it's really all just about it trying to keep his ego in check. Because Ash is that friend you have who is either on top of the world or down in a gutter.
Mm-hmm.
Like, he doesn't seem to have in-betweens. He's either I'm the best or I'm the worst.
Yeah. And so... Even his Pokemon are agreeing that he hasn't really done anything. He gets really upset and runs away, saying, I'm going to be the best Pokemon master. He's going to go catch a Pokemon. He comes across a lake. We see a Krabby for the first time.
Is that a lake? I thought that was the ocean.
Was it an ocean? I don't remember. It was water. It was probably the ocean.
Welcome back to this podcast where we don't know the difference between oceans and lakes.
I live in the prairies, so, you know, there's water.
Is that a lake?
There's no water.
Is that an ocean?
I just see water.
You see a slough, like a puddle?
Yeah.
I wonder, is that slang other places?
Slough?
Shout us out in the comments. Do you refer to ponds as sloughs? Like if they're beside a highway and there's a pond, a still water, do you call it a slough? Shout us out in the comments.
Maybe we'll find out.
Where we're from.
Maybe we'll find out. So it's a small little Krabby, cute little crab guy, and he pinches Ash on his left hand, but then in the next shot, it's his right hand that's injured.
Shout us out in the comments if you like us pointing out
continuity.
These
I find it
he's kind of mean. He's definitely mean to the Krabby. He's like, this Krabby sure is shrimpy.
Mm-hmm.
And the Krabby pinches him.
He tries to fight it with a stick.
Yeah, and the Krabby chops it up. He just throws the Pokeball. This is Ash again. Like, sometimes he just forgets how things work. Like, he doesn't try to fight the Krabby at all. He just throws the Pokeball. He gets lucky. Catches it, I guess, because this is a very young, small Krabby. And the ball automatically teleports away.
Mm-hmm. So he catches it perfectly fine, and then it starts doing this little electrical thingy, and then
what the hell was that sound?
Vanishes into thin air. It was my impression of.
Was that your electrical sound?
Yeah.
Can you repeat that? Wow.
Yeah, I'm really
Folks
good.
at home, your headphones are not malfunctioning. That was him making electrical static noises with his mouth.
So anyway, vanishes into thin air. It's disappeared. It's like, where'd my Krabby go? And of course, he has to be taught about another thing. Brock and Misty tell him a trainer can only have 6 Pokemon. So when you catch more, they go transfer to the person who gave you your Pokedex, and they take care of them.
Yeah, so the Krabby went to Professor Oak.
Yeah.
And Ash is concerned that Oak's going to eat Krabby. And this is pure projection. Ash is like, you know what? I'd eat Krabby.
I mean, I'd eat Krabby.
If I was Oak, I would eat Krabby. Hell yeah, I'd eat Krabby.
If this is the episode, if we pull tastiness of the Pokemon in the 4-port today, it's going to be a 10.
I know.
Good old crab. Get some crab in here.
He's just a crab.
Yeah.
Yeah. And crabs are good.
So an interesting thing to note here, Brock notes that the trainers can swap out their Pokemon at any point by pressing the white button on their Pokedex. So like they have the box system on them at all times, which wasn't a thing in the games until Generation 8, or technically Generation 7 with the Let's Go games, but Gen 8 in the main series is when that was established, that you could swap Pokemon out of your boxes from wherever you are. However, this piece of information is like immediately dropped, and soon he has to go to a phone to retrieve Pokemon, which is more in tune as how the original games worked.
Yeah, dropped very quickly. Here they just want to get to a phone to check in on Krabby, I guess, because again they're worried that Oak's gonna eat
Ash is.
or eat the Krabby. Ash is worried. The rest are like, he is a professor, you know.
Mm-hmm.
They're like, he knows not to eat the crab.
When a crab shows up in your laboratory through teleportation means it does not mean that it is a crab in which you eat. It is a crab in which to take care of.
What if he's got like the teleportation set up so that it teleports the crab like immediately above a pot of boiling water? Just like lands
That's
in there.
Fucked up.
Just like a hot pot teleportation system.
So they see a lighthouse in the distance, and they say, well, okay, maybe there's a phone. Brock wants a kitchen. Misty wants a bed. So they're off to the lighthouse to go see if they can get some help.
Yeah, and they get up to the lighthouse, and it has this really cool, menacing door, like an old school castle kind of look.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it's got all these Pokemon engravings on them. It looks really neat. I'd have that
you ever
door.
seen the 70s comedy horror hit Young Frankenstein?
No.
Okay, this is a reference. This is me wildly claiming that this is a reference to Young Frankenstein. Young Frankenstein is about the Dr. Frankenstein from the book and from lore. It's about his grandson who then inherits his castle and his experiments. And when the grandson is first going to the castle, there's these giant kind of metal, I guess, knockers. I don't know the other word for it, like that are used to knock on the door.
Mm-hmm.
And he goes, this is a joke, a stupid 70s joke. He goes, "What knockers?" And the woman he's with is like, "Oh, thank you." So stupid. These giant knockers. But that scene reminded me of Young Frankenstein, the aesthetic.
So something interesting about this door is that on this door, we see a panel showing Mewtwo. But canonically, I believe Mewtwo at this point doesn't actually exist. He hasn't been cloned yet.
Okay, teach us about Mewtwo,
So
Lord. What you talk about, Willis?
Mewtwo is a Pokemon, a man-made Pokemon, from the genes of Mew, which is Pokemon 151 in the Dex. It's a mythical. It's thought to be the ancestor of all Pokemon. They tried to clone Mew. There's a big theory that Dittos are failed attempts at cloning Mew, which is interesting, but for the time being, we can talk about that when we get to Ditto. But Mewtwo is a clone of Mew, created by a bunch of scientists, who is breaks out of the lab at some point, and then he is the focus of the first movie when we get into that. But I believe canonically, in terms of at least the anime, Mewtwo should not be existing at this point. He has not been cloned yet, and thus should not be featured on this door.
What if the plans for Mewtwo existed?
Well, I don't know if they knew exactly what he would look like. So,
interesting.
Anyway.
Because I was going to say, you know what other clones there are already?
Nurse Joy!
Officer
Jenny!
Dun, dun, dun. Officer Jenny. The clones.
Interesting.
Attack of the Clones.
So they ring.
It's all connected.
They ring the bell at the lighthouse, and Bill answers. They talk about what they want to do, why they want to come into the lighthouse. Brock says he wants to make bacon double cheeseburgers for the group, which stood out to me because that's obviously a localization thing.
Yeah, in the original, they are just going back and forth about what different Japanese dishes they could cook. Basically, different forms of hot pots is what they're going and the speaker. We actually don't know that this is Bill yet. If
oh yeah, true. Yeah, we don't know this is Bill.
It's just a mysterious person, and he's asking, "Oh, can you include this in the hot pot?" Brock's like, "Yes, I can include this." In the localization, though, he's like, "I need your kitchen. I'm gonna cook bacon double cheeseburgers." It's so specific, and the person is like, "As long as you don't use tofu, I've been eating nothing but tofu.
Since my cook went on vacation."
The irony here is because there's going to be a scene right away where they call Oak, and Oak is cooking, and there's sort of like a dialogue there about him being sick of eating tofu too.
Because his cook also went on vacation. What a coincidence.
Right. But the twist is that in the original, some of the dishes they're talking about that they want to cook contain tofu.
Mm-hmm.
They're like, hell yeah, let's eat some tofu. And in the localization, they're like, yuck, tofu.
Yeah.
I'm so sick of it.
So they get led into the lighthouse. Bill has a Bellsprout phone, and I want that bad.
Yeah, have they made that? There's this
I doubt
video
it.
phone with a Bellsprout.
I want it.
The
Bella phone.
Ooh, Bella phone.
The Bella
nice.
phone. Ah.
Someone's probably made a mock-up.
Probably
not like a working version.
Mm-hmm. So they call Oak to check on Krabby. Ash's little Krabby's in this little fishbowl with his face on it, and then we pan over to Gary's Krabby, who is way bigger, and we learn that Gary has caught 45 Pokemon.
Whew. And has a big old Krabby.
Yeah, 45 Pokemon for this point in the game is fucking absurd.
Professor Oak is basically like, please, Ash, I'm not going to eat your shitty little crab. I'm going to eat my grandson's mega crab. Look at the meat on this boy. Check out his arms. Check out his legs.
But Gary has caught 45 Pokemon. That's so many for not even having 3 badges.
How many do you usually have by this time?
Okay, well, let's count. You get your starter. You can catch Rattata, Pidgey, Nidoran, Mankey. Actually, no, I don't think Mankey's in red and blue there. Caterpie, Weedle, Pikachu, Clefairy, Jigglypuff, Paris, Zubat, Ekans, Sandshrew, Abra, Meowth. That's all I can think of right now. That's 16 species, and you can evolve some of those, but that's not even 40 if you evolve all of those. Oddish, Bellsprout. That's getting closer.
I hope you all like when we list things.
When we
count stuff.
I can name all 1,008 Pokemon from memory.
We're gonna do that one episode. We're gonna do that one episode.
That's my sub goal on Twitch to do that.
Oh really?
Yeah.
Oh, that's awesome. Okay, yeah. That's why you should do that. That should be a live stream. That'd be incredible.
Anyway, so we go inside. They talk to Oak, and then we learn that this strange person who Oak says is Bill is a Kabuto.
Yeah, it's Bill who is a reference. It's a game character. Bill's a game character, right?
Yeah, he's the guy that created the box system.
What?
The box system in the games.
Oh, the box system.
Where all your extra Pokemon go.
Store your extra Pokemon in the games. They don't elaborate on Bill's contributions to science here, do they?
I don't think so. He's just kind of a researcher.
He's a stand-in, but yeah, you're right. So the lights come on. Okay, we've now heard about this Bill guy, but instead of Bill standing there, it's a Kabuto, which is this describe Kabuto for me. I know it's like a ancient Pokemon, but it looks like a bug, kinda.
Yeah. So
what does it look like?
Kabuto is one of the fossil Pokemon from Gen 1, which are extinct Pokemon. In the games in Mount Moon, you collect one of the fossils, and then later on Cinnabar Island, you can revive it for either a Kabuto or a Ammonite, depending on which fossil you get. You can also get the old Amber from the Pewter Museum, that turns into an Aerodactyl. But they're extinct Pokemon that you can bring back to life from fossils. Kabuto himself, I believe, is based on a horseshoe crab.
Oh, okay.
I think.
To me, it looks insect-like, though, doesn't it? It has cockroach-esque characteristics, and I'm gonna claim that wildly for my literary reference here. Metamorphosis by Kafka. You know Metamorphosis?
I've heard of it.
Famous story about a man who turns into a cockroach. Now, we're going to find out right away now that Bill hasn't literally turned into a Kabuto, but it has that energy. Scientist turned into a cockroach, alone, reflecting on his life. Metamorphosis, people.
Yeah, so on Bulbapedia, Kabuto's biology section says, Kabuto is a small arthropod Pokemon resembling a horseshoe crab.
Wow.
So.
You just had that memorized.
No, I looked it up. No, I had it memorized. Yeah, you're right. You're right, I definitely.
Genius.
Yeah, I'm just so smart. Anyway, it's a horseshoe crab.
But Metamorphosis.
Sure, but it's a horseshoe crab.
So Team Rocket appears.
Yeah, they're spying on the Lighthouse. Surprise, surprise.
That Bill is in the phone book.
I missed that.
There's a phone book. Yeah, they're like, this is Bill's place. It was in the phone book. He's got a
ancient media.
Yeah, he's gonna have a bunch of rare Pokemon there. Let's get them all. They acknowledge here that they are the bad guys. So they're debating about whether they should walk up to the front or climb the cliff and come in from the back. And they're like, "Well, we're the bad guys, so we gotta sneak in."
Yeah,
that's the trope idea. We play in this episode. We have to do the sneaking. It is weird, but it's like they are so. That's a fourth wall break. They are the trope, and the trope is them. They have become the archetype that they are, to the point where they have become
the one thing they have sworn to destroy.
No. They are it. Completely. But sort of, yeah. Because then they say, like, well, we have reasoned that we have to climb this cliff because we're the bad guys, but we're afraid of heights.
Yeah. Just classic Team Rocket stuff.
What a conundrum.
Classic stuff.
Yeah, and Team Rocket in both these episodes are so silly. Like remember when Team Rocket were menacing in episode 2? That is gone. Well, they are these fourth wall breaking shtick gag sort of characters.
Well, we'll get to it when we get to episode 14, but episode 14 Team Rocket is my favorite kind of Team Rocket.
Peak Team Rocket.
I actually love it.
Hilarious.
I love it.
Yeah.
So we cut back to the Lighthouse. we learn that Bill is stuck inside of a Kabuto costume, which is way less complicated than in the games, because in the game, he has, like, fused himself with a Pokemon.
Yeah, like, kind of like weirdo shit.
Yeah, you have to, like...
It's like...
You have to send them back through their teleportation pods or whatever to unfuse them. But when you meet him, he's a Clefairy. He's not in a costume, he is the Clefairy.
That's got metamorphosis vibes.
There you go.
But here it's easy. They just, Ash just has to press a button, and the Kabuto costume has this huge design flaw that the arms aren't big enough to hit the escape button. Luckily, he says he's only been in there for a couple hours. Mm-hmm. At first I was like, is this why he's just eating tofu? Because that's all he can, like, fit in the mouth hole or something?
Well, he claims...
Just, like, slurps up soft tofu.
Well, he claims that it's a research costume. I don't believe that. I think Bill is a furry.
Yeah, I'd agree.
Yeah,
I put research in quotes. So he says that, this is my research costume. I try to see what they were like. I bet you he takes that too far. Bill is a freak. Mm-hmm. He's also, like, he's dressed very fancy. He has kind of a posh accent. You know he's got some skeletons.
Yeah, I was wondering when you're going to bring up the accent.
This accent wasn't as bad.
It's not bad, but it's still
wondering if I'm... It's not great, but I'm wondering if I'm baseline... If my baseline has become tarnished now because of how awful some of the other accents have been, that I'm like, this accent was fine. It's like this mild posh accent. He's like, this costume is for my research. Mine's probably worse than his.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
His is a bit more high pitched.
This costume's for my research.
That's better.
Oh, yeah. I thought that was horrible.
Yeah.
But you're right. That Kabuto was definitely him trying to get in touch with a side of himself that he didn't want to admit to. Mm-hmm. And you do you, Bill.
Yeah, you do you. You just keep it away from me. Anyway.
Keep it away.
So Bill starts talking about how this planet is 4.6 billion years old. There's over 150 Pokemon on this planet. We don't know what all of them are. And this is true that we have not discovered all of them at this point because, speaking in 2023 terms, there are 1,008 Pokemon.
Wow.
Yeah, there's a
Bill,
lot.
So naive.
And that doesn't even count, like, different forms. Like, if you count all the forms, there's a few extra hundred.
So him bringing up the age of the planet was interesting to me because evolution, that's kind of the leading scientific framework for how species have changed and evolved right over time on Earth. In Pokemon evolution, there's this very specific mechanic called evolution where a single creature, a single entity can change its form and appearance and some other attributes. Do you think that the Pokemon world has our evolution as well?
Yeah, because the way that Pokemon describes evolution is more like metamorphosis, but our definition of evolution can be seen more properly in Gen 7 onwards with regional variants.
Okay.
So every region since Gen 7, Alola, Galar, and Paldea have had regional variants of past Pokemon, which are those Pokemon, but with different typings and different ways that they thrive in their environments. So as an example, in Alola, the Pokemon Rattata, which we know is this little purple rat, was becoming... kind of infesting the areas, and so they brought in the Pokemon Yungoos as an invasive species to cull the Rattata population. And the Rattata caught on to this and quickly became nocturnal. And so the Rattata in Alola, which have become nocturnal, evolved into a dark normal type with a darker fur.
Okay, so there are like evolutionary lines.
Yes.
And then there's also, like, evolution, the single entity Pokemon transformation mechanic.
Yeah. And then there's the convergent ones, which they just did it in a Scarlet and Violet with Toedscool and Wiglet, which are like a whole other thing. They look just like old Pokemon, but they have no genetic resemblance. They just look like it, which is like how convergent evolution works in the real world. It's a whole fucking thing.
Oh, so they're actually making some attempt to map these kind of real-world ideas onto how Pokemon flourish.
Yeah, it's neat.
Yeah, it's kind of interesting.
I love regional variants. I think it's one of my favorite things they've introduced.
Cool world building. In recent, it definitely feels grounded, brings you in. Yeah.
But then you always get a reason for what for why Pokemon have evolved into different things in different ways. Like Sandshrew and Vulpix live in icy mountains and evolved into ice types in Alola. But then you get ones like Alolan Raichu, which they're like, we don't fucking know how this one became like this. Maybe it is from eating too many pancakes. We don't know.
That's actually something they say.
Yeah, it's theorized that Alolan Raichu is because of too many fluffy pancakes.
It's theorized that Pokemon in Hawaii hung out behind IHOPs, and by living and flourishing in the IHOP dumpster, they have evolved into pancake Raichus.
Oh, man. Anyway, back to the episode.
Yeah, Bill has a goal.
Yeah, he's searching for this really big Pokemon, and he's been able to
Pokemon.
He's been able to communicate with it through its songs.
Yeah, through its whale noises.
Yeah.
And he's got recordings of it. And he's somehow deciphered this. He's like, I'm pretty sure this vague whale noise means, let's be friends. I want to chill.
I want to hang out. You want to play Smash? I'll bring my GameCube controller.
Ooh. That's what the whale noise.
Yeah, it means, I'm in Roy. I'm in Roy.
I'm in Roy. Nerf Martha.
And so the very large Pokemon does appear. We're never told explicitly what it is, but it is a Dragonite. If you know anything about Pokemon, you know it's a Dragonite.
Right, so there's a Pokemon called Dragonite, which this is like kind of strange because there are Dragonites. That's not a single species Pokemon, right?
Mm-hmm.
But Bill's talking about this like it's a one-of-a-kind thing.
Yeah, well, it is massive. So, I mean, this massive one would be the
so it could
last
be.
of its kind.
This huge-ass Dragonite is the only... And this is a Godzilla reference, right? Like, this is a kaiju. This is him coming from the ocean, sounding like a saw. Yeah, there's Godzilla energy here for sure.
Yeah, and it's nice that it's Dragonite, because Dragonite is the pseudo-legendary of Gen 1. It's very powerful. So
what does that mean?
To see it in, like, to see it in a mysterious form like this is neat. A pseudo-legendary is... let me pull up the definition properly.
Definitions, folks.
A pseudo-legendary Pokemon is a fan term commonly used to refer to any Pokemon that has a 3-stage evolution line, 1.25 million experience at level 100, and a base stat total of exactly 600.
God, that was a boring definition.
Well, it's
what does that even mean?
It's very specific, because there's typically one Pokemon in every generation that is that powerful and follows those rules. So, like Dragonite, Tyranitar, Salamence and Metagross, both in Gen 3, they introduced 2. Garchomp, Hydreigon, Goodra, Kommo-o, Dragapult, and Baxcalibur.
So these are dope-ass dragon freaks.
Yeah, pretty much.
Cool.
It's your kaiju of the generation.
Said that. It's the kaiju.
But that's what they're referred to is pseudo-legendary Pokemon.
So this episode clips along nicely because we do hear the song right away. The Dragonite is appearing, right?
Yeah.
And Misty and Brock decide to start dancing.
Yeah.
They're like, sounds like music, let's dance!
Yeah, and it also mesmerizes Team Rocket.
Oh, yeah. And they're currently climbing up the side of the cliff, right?
Yeah.
Because they're still committed to sneaking in. And they see the Pokemon and go, that's a big Pokemon. And James, come on, buddy.
So size does matter.
Yeah. Like, that's this... Oh my goodness, in the 90s, like, kid shows loved making these stupid sexual jokes.
Hey, it's for the parents that are forced to watch it.
It's for the parents. And they always come from James.
Mm-hmm.
What's with that?
Yeah, let's keep track of that. James sexual
James
innuendos. Yeah.
Yeah. So size does matter. Scared, no, with something shocked straight. That was the one.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Makes me want to go straight. Like, yeah, there you go. That's what it is.
Yeah. And James is turning aside here. He's like, man, this thing's so beautiful. Do we really need to catch it? And so he's kind of pushing that maybe they shouldn't. And Jesse's like, we built our fame on shame. And Meowth, you son of a bitch, goes, it's all the shame to me.
Boom.
And they just start rocketing this kaiju. They're like, blast them, boys!
Yeah, they shoot
So anyways, I started blasting. Yeah.
They shoot something at it, and I couldn't tell quite clearly if it was the Dragonite or if it was, like, the whatever they shot at it that started destroying the lighthouse. I think it was the Dragonite.
It was his tail,
Yeah.
I thought.
Yeah. And so Dragonite whaps away Team Rocket. They go blasting off again, and Dragonite disappears into the fog.
Yeah, and so there's no conclusion. This is the blue ball point of this episode. The sad Godzilla retreats and they don't know what it was, and Bill's like, I'm gonna hang around, wait for that guy. I think he seems chill.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
He owes me a Smash Brothers match.
Yeah, so we just get like a nice conversation at the end full of metaphors and freight. I don't fucking know what I'm trying to say. But Bill says, even if our paths are different, our goals are the same. Which is deep.
He's Scottish now.
Deep. I don't fucking know. I can't hear myself.
Yeah, all the characters take this time to sort of spill their core guiding philosophies into the wind. Self-reflection, and it's like, this sucks. That ending sucked.
There's a lesson in here to learn. I can't tell you what it is, but it's in there.
It's each of them just repeating their own lessons.
Yeah. But we pan up, and we see in the clouds, there's a cloud shaped like a Dragonite. Oh. How sweet.
Oh. We learned the answer all along.
And
it was in the clouds. Just search up what a Dragonite is, Bill. It's in the fucking Pokedex.
Just go on Bulbapedia, damn it.
Go on Bulbapedia. So the themes, there is a theme, I guess, to carrying these ending words forward about research versus training in this world. Bill's a researcher, they're trainers, and he sort of describes how theory and application can kind of live in the same world that can assist each other. They have similar goals. They just want to learn more about Pokemon. Bill's doing it through theory. Ash is doing it through application. References I've brought up already: Godzilla, Metamorphosis, Young Frankenstein. However, there's a whole bunch of cliches in literature that have to do with lighthouses. Tons. To the Lighthouse, Virginia Woolf. The Lighthouse, Edgar Allan Poe.
BioShock.
What's interesting, BioShock, the real lighthouse.
There's always a lighthouse. There's always a man.
Bulbapedia actually pointed me onto one. They must be listening to the podcast and have edited this recently cool. With a literary analysis. So they compare it. They said that the story is probably inspired and almost lifted from a Ray Bradbury story called The Foghorn, which I wasn't familiar with, but reading the synopsis, it does sound basically exactly like this. It's about a man who lives in a lighthouse and is getting language, I guess sounds from a creature at sea, and he's deciphering the sounds and thinks that this creature wants to find a companion, and the creature is like a large monster. That sort of thing. So that does sound pretty coherent. So The Foghorn by Ray Bradbury.
Well, there you go.
Yeah, because it's a sci-fi tale, from sci-fi short story Golden Age, the 50s. The writers of this easily could have been inspired by that.
All right, then. Well, should we get to the rating?
Four time.
Let's get to the rating.
Rank it.
All right.
Let's rank it. This is where we draw a random category, 2 random categories, and then discuss it based on that criteria. We love new suggestions to criterias, so shout us out in the comments, or you can email us at 2killadelibird@gmail.com for more info. Let's hear our first category.
Oh, here's a good one. Our first category for Mystery at the Lighthouse is furry bait.
Well, Bill is the furry. 10.
I don't know if it's 10, because
there's a furry in it.
That's true.
There's representation.
All right, 10.
10.
Easy. All right, second category will be Meowth's existential dread.
So I think I thought of that category, and unfortunately, existential dread for Meowth doesn't come until later.
No,
right?
We may have to pull that one for a while.
We could just rank it for now based on Meowth's lines, Meowth's puns.
Meowth's puns. Yeah, we can do that.
Yeah, let's make it Meowth's puns.
Meowth's puns for now.
So It's All the Shame to Me was pretty good. He's had better, and he will have better, though. So 6?
Yeah, I'm good with that.
Okay, so average that out. This episode gets an 8 out of 10.
Wow.
Which is our highest ranked episode yet. The episode that I said sucks and has a shit ending is our highest ranked episode. And that is why the 4-pour is the best ranking system.
It's an objective rating system.
Yeah, it's in the title.
It's perfect.
The plastic ping pong plastic pitcher of objective rankings.
Exactly. All right, that's episode 13. Let's move on to episode 14, Electric Shock Showdown.
Yeah, and this episode rules.
This is a great episode.
Yeah. They finally reached Vermilion City.
Took 2 weeks.
He says again they've spent 2 weeks. In a recent episode, though, I think 2 episodes ago, they also said it's been 2 weeks.
They said it was 10 days, I believe.
Oh, okay.
So it's been 4 days
4
since
days.
then.
That checks out. So our whole adventure now has been 2 months and 2 weeks. Our heroes look dirty. Man, they are covered in filth.
They're messed up.
Ash wants to get to the gym immediately, but man, everyone's hungry. Like, Pikachu is like, he hasn't eaten. They said that, we haven't had a proper meal in 3 days. Oh, even Ash is hungry. These people need some food.
Yeah, and so in the title card, something to note, I didn't catch this, but I was looking on Bulbapedia. It misspells Vermilion on the title card with 2 L's, which I always thought that's how you spell Vermilion. Apparently it's 1 L.
There you go.
I had no idea. I've been spelling it the wrong way for 20 years. For 20 years.
Oh, you just learned this now?
Yeah, I always thought it was 2 L's, because million has 2 L's, so.
Right.
I never realized that the colored Vermilion only has 1.
Wow. You know, I never thought about that. I wonder if I knew.
So in the Pokemon Center, we meet our 4th Nurse Joy.
Yeah, so they go to the Pokemon Center looking for food, I guess.
Brock thinks this is the prettiest Joy.
Well, he says that because she says that.
Yeah.
She gives this whole family tree thing, which actually has conflicts with other family trees we've heard. So that is weird. They're clones. See, their stories aren't even straight. They don't even know their relation to each other.
They can't keep it straight.
They can't keep their story straight. What's your alibi, Nurse Joy?
Yeah, so the 2 Joys that this Joy refers to as her first and second cousins are actually, well, they said that they were sisters. So they should both be this Joy's either first or second cousins and not separate kinds of cousins. So, come on, Pokemon.
Come on, Pokemon.
Fix your shit.
Brock's simping. But really, this Poke Center is to kind of set up the main conflict of the episode, add a bit of stress, add a bit of suspense into it, that we see a rat attack coming into the hospital, really hurt. And this is the 15th one this month. This is the 15th Pokemon with severe injuries. They have all lost to the town's gym leader, Lieutenant Surge.
Yeah, so Lieutenant Surge is the 3rd gym leader from Vermilion City. He is a lieutenant, as his title states. He was part of the war, the Great Pokemon War, I believe it was called. And he runs with electric-type Pokemon.
Is that a real thing?
Name,
the Great Pokemon
Surge.
War?
Yeah, it is. In the games, at least.
Okay, tell me more.
Well, let me pull up...
Is this a war fought with Pokemon as the soldiers?
Yeah, I think so.
And Lieutenant Surge would just be like using them, abusing them? They're the drones of this society?
Well, I can't find the exact quote, but in the original games, he talks about how Pokemon zapped his foes into paralysis during the war.
Is that the only reference to a war we ever get in Pokemon, though?
At least in the first games.
Oh, are there ones later?
I don't remember exactly what it is about, but in Gen 6...
sorta.
In Gen 6, there's a whole storyline about this guy that created a machine to stop a conflict, and it ended up like destroying things, and he lost his partner Pokemon. It's a whole fucking thing.
So it kind of sounds like a one-off, but maybe they elaborate later. Yeah, it's interesting to think about if there was a war in this world and what that would look like, because it would probably involve Pokemon somehow. As sad as it is.
Well, yeah, I mean, it's pretty obvious. Pokemon are probably the most powerful creatures on this planet. Yeah,
if you have a Charizard, you're riding that thing in a battle.
Mm-hmm.
So, back to the episode. There's a certain amount of tension in this Pokemon Center, because Pokemon are getting their butts kicked. Ash isn't scared, though, but Misty's goading him. You should be scared with that big ego. You sure you can stand up to this? And Ash says, I'll do it. Whatever. Misty's like, we gave you those badges, you piece of shit.
Okay, I want to go back to the war for a second, because I pulled it. I found
back to the war.
My source here, because it is a kind of a theory. It's a supposed war that took place prior to the events of Pokemon Red and Blue. part of the evidence to it is that Surge references the war and how Pokemon shocked his foes into paralysis. And it's also kind of an explanation as to why Red's father, like your main character's father, is not present, why there aren't more like mid-range adults, like your 30-year-olds. Like it's a lot of old people and children and mothers and whatnot in around Kanto. The theory is that most of the like war age men died in the war.
It's a post-war society.
Yeah.
That's why kids are the ones doing all the Pokemon adventures.
Anyway, that's what
That's pretty
war's
interesting.
Yeah.
Well, Pikachu's better is really where to kick off again. He's eating an apple, very cute.
Yeah, I put that in there too. He's so cute eating his little apple.
And the 15th victim rolls in. I mean, the 16th victim of Surge's victims rolls in. I mean, Ash is like, we can do this. We can fight. Pikachu is rightfully a little more scared.
He's terrified.
Come on, am I the asshole moment, Ash? Like,
yes, he is.
He's telling Pikachu to do this as if he's the one that needs to fight. Pikachu's the one that needs to fight. This would be scary. You're seeing all these Pokemon just messed up.
Yeah, all these Pokemon that are like seriously maimed. I think Pikachu's in the right to think, oh man.
Yeah, he's in the right.
I don't want to fight this guy.
This is scary. In the right. Come on, Ash.
What Ash needs to do is go slightly east to Diglett's cave, catch a Diglett, and then go back. Because that's what everybody does. Move. That's what everybody does in the game.
Bring with a ground type, and then suddenly he's easy.
Yeah. So we go into the gym. We meet Surge for the first time. The dude is fucking gigantic.
Yeah, I want to talk about this whole setting, including Surge. It's this brutalist architecture that almost looks like a temple. These giant lightning bolts, tacky lightning bolts are all over it. And Surge himself looks like Guile from Street Fighter.
Mm-hmm.
He is how every Japanese comic like draws an American military dude.
Yeah.
Blonde hair, lots of tall hair, open chest, and he's just like, he's ripped. He's kind of got like a vest and dog tags and camo, and he's huge. He is huge.
He's massive.
And he's a hugger.
So assuming Ash is the average height of a 10-year-old boy, which is like 4'6", Surge is like 9 feet tall.
Yeah, Surge is massive.
He's gigantic.
You might be just seeing Surge like this. This is like how imposing he seems.
Oh, you think we're seeing this as like
a kid's eyes?
Through Ash's eyes? Interesting.
Yeah.
But either way,
he's a hugger.
Fucking massive.
He doesn't understand personal boundaries. He's hugging Misty already.
Yeah, he's a character that's like on the outside looks all tough and brooding and whatnot, but actually, deep inside, thinks Surge is a bit of a teddy bear.
Yeah. He has, again, going to weird accents that this show does. He's got, I think, what's supposed to be a New York accent.
Hit it with a thunderbolt.
Yeah, but like, just stupid and comedic. I'm walking here, Ash.
Body slam.
Body slam. I don't even know how to do that. Yeah, it's weird. It's a weird accent.
So he sends out a Raichu because he sees Ash as Pikachu. He's like, oh my god, this baby's got a baby.
Oh yeah, he calls everyone baby.
Yeah.
Too.
Go Pokeball! And sends out a Raichu.
You do a good Surge. Yeah, you're gonna be Surge in this episode.
Okay. Something that I kind of bothers me about characters in Pokemon is a lot of the time, I think when we don't know what the Pokemon is coming out, like they're trying to build suspense and we've never seen the Pokemon, the trainer always says, go Pokeball! It's like, that's not... Why would you say that?
Because they want to give just a chance for it to be a mystery.
Yeah, like, the mystery would be, we've never seen this Pokemon, I wonder what a Raichu is. Let's find out.
So speaking of Raichus, though, the Pokedex entry is fascinating. Having watched these 2 episodes back to back,
what was it?
You didn't catch this?
I did not write it down.
The deck says something about how the Raichu's volts are so strong that even a Dragonite couldn't withstand it.
Mm-hmm. Oh, it
mentions Dragonite, and in the last episode, a Dragonite is shown as this mysterious Pokemon. They don't know what the fuck that is. And Ash here, hearing about a Dragonite, I mean, he's an idiot, so he wouldn't, but he isn't, like, What is that Dragonite? Let me look that up. This has the same silhouette as the freak from last episode.
Yeah, Raichu's always been noted to have like a lot of electrical power. Like in Stadium, its Pokédex entry states that it can reach 10,000 volts. In Fire Red, a Leaf Green, it's been up to 100,000. It's a lot.
Well, I'm mostly just pointing out that it explicitly says Dragonite, when in the last episode, that's the source of drama that they don't know what a Dragonite is.
Yeah.
So
it got me curious.
This could have really wrapped some things up if they'd followed through with this. Yeah, and Surge is actually the main conflict of this episode, which is more than just trying to beat Surge. It's about Surge's viewpoint.
It's a moral dilemma.
Around Surge claims that you should evolve your Pokemon right away.
Wrong.
And he just sees that as, do you think that's because Surge is this, like, big muscles, sort of everything should be it should look the strongest. You think that's what kind of it's about? Yeah,
probably.
It's like a certain vanity that I need my Pikachu can't be this cute thing. It needs to look like a real baddie.
Yeah, but come on, Raichu is also pretty cute.
Well, yeah, it is. It is. So
it's Raichu's not a badass.
I just mean, I think that's kind of like his viewpoint, even if it doesn't really hold up.
Yeah.
And Ash's viewpoint is that you should love Pokemon the way they are.
And
there's a really nice theme here that's actually about the consent of evolution. Right? It is.
Well, and it actually comes back later.
Evolution it should be the Pokemon's self-choice.
And we actually see it later in the season, too.
Mm-hmm.
We'll talk about it when we get there, but Bulbasaur also refuses evolution.
Well, you gave Ash shit before about not evolving his Pokemon, but he might be onto something. He's kind of progressive, actually, in this society.
Maybe. I still think...
Maybe Ash is the true genius.
Get your fucking Blastoise.
Maybe idiots are smart.
Get a fucking Blastoise, Ash. That's what I still think.
Get a turtle with cannons on its back, like God intended.
Anyway, so Surge is absolutely wrong, especially when it comes to stone evolutions, because Pokemon that evolve by stone don't learn moves after they've been evolved. That's your trade-off.
Yeah, so he's wrong mechanically, too.
Yeah. You don't want to evolve your Pikachu immediately because then it's not going to learn any moves. And you can use TMs and stuff, but they're one-offs. You're dumbass, Surge.
And Pikachu's personally offended by this dialogue.
Yeah, he gets Pikachu fucking riled up.
He's like, look, I support Pokemon autonomy, my body, my choice. What the fuck, Surge? Can't believe you would do that to a Pikachu.
How could you?
How could you?
And we get into the gym battle, the first gym battle of the episode. Each trainer will use one Pokemon, which is weird.
Yeah, and there's like a boxing bell, so I kind of think that there's like supposed to be a bit of a theme here with Surge being macho, that their gym battles here are kind of unique. But that's never followed through with, so it's left kind of vague.
Yeah, it's just theming.
Yeah, playing with the big boys is a shocking experience.
Oh, wow.
Now, Pikachu starts with a Thunder Shock against the Raichu. It doesn't do anything.
Doesn't do shit.
And I had a question for you. So do electric attacks affect electric Pokemon?
Yes. They are
okay, so
resisted.
So this battle does kind of hold up.
Yeah, it's resisted, but it's kind of a precursor to future games when abilities are introduced.
Whoa, what's an ability?
You don't know what an ability... Oh my god. Okay, so
I'm a baby.
Every Pokemon has an ability. Some are more common than others. So, like, Coughing has the ability Levitate, which makes it immune to ground moves.
Oh, and this isn't a move. It's like a passive ability?
Yes. Okay. So, typically, Raichu has the ability Static, where if a Pokemon makes contact with it using a contact move, there is a chance that the Pokemon that contacted it will get paralyzed. And it's one of Raichu's other abilities is also Lightning Rod, which draws in electric attacks and makes him immune to them and boosts special attack, I think.
Oh, okay. Cool. So this is kind of where anime as like an exploration of the world, it probably did have some chance to inform the games, because like in the anime, you get to see Pokemon having, they're kind of what's innate to them affects the battles. And then the games might have been like, you know what, that's actually an interesting idea, and sort of plays off of that later.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, the anime makes it a lot more like realistic in terms of how it would work in the real world.
Well, in this real world.
Yeah.
Makes you buy in. It's that suspends your disbelief. You can kind of buy in, and there's some extra consistency.
Mm-hmm. All right, so yeah, Lightning Rod draws in electric moves, and as of Gen 5, raises the Pokemon special attack. So I know you I knew you wanted to know that.
Oh, I love the details. Mm-hmm. No, I don't. So Raichu, yeah, the Pikachu's Thunder Shocks don't do much to Raichu. Raichu absolutely fries Pikachu shooting back, though. Pikachu bounces back. He's got that Rocky energy, you know. He wants to fight. Yeah, we're in the boxing ring. Raichu then uses Mega Punch and Mega Kick. Are those real moves?
He uses Thunder Punch.
Oh.
But it doesn't have any electricity.
But the Surge man, Lieutenant Surge, says Mega Punch and Mega Kick.
He says Mega Kick. I'm pretty sure he says Thunder Punch.
He says Mega Punch.
I'm gonna look for this.
Fact
Give me
checking.
a minute. Give me a minute. Oh, it is Mega Punch. Okay, you're right.
Yeah, I know things.
Shh. No, you don't.
That was luck, but I know things.
I don't know why I thought he said Thunder Punch, but maybe I was
right.
expecting him to, and I just kind of heard what I wanted to hear. Anyway, yeah, Mega Punch and Mega Kick are moves. They're real moves.
Yeah, and so Pikachu's getting the kick shit out of him. The shit kicked out of him. The kick shitted out of him. He's shitting kicks. It's a new attack.
Shit kicks.
Pikachu gets that bad, he's going to be sent to the hospital. But we get the Team Rocket interjection here. You said before this is your favorite Team Rocket. I agree. They are kind of good guys in this episode. Their dedication to being bad has made them good. I don't know what's going on. But they think that if Pikachu loses, it will make all of their adventures in the previous episodes pointless. Because they see Pikachu as this amazing Pokemon that they want to capture. They're tying their identity to this goal in a way that makes them want to support Pikachu. Like, they're cheering for Pikachu in this episode.
Yeah. It's at their core, deep down, I think Team Rocket actually cares about these little twerps.
Yeah, they're bonding with them in a rivalry kind of way. I don't know. It's weird. They're like, if this Pikachu isn't strong, our identity is tarnished.
Yeah,
right?
so they're straight
up. Don't know who we are.
They're straight up rooting for Pikachu to win.
Yeah.
And we go back to the fight. Raichu bolts Pikachu again. Match is over. Pikachu's out. Pikachu's done for.
Yeah, and so we're back in the hospital because Pikachu's that bad. Brock says Pikachu is hurt emotionally, though, that this was a fight that meant something to him, and he's he got more than physically hurt during this fight. Joy overhears and comes with a bit of a solution.
Yeah, so she says she has come across a Thunderstone, and she gives it to Ash, and Ash says something along the lines of he doesn't want to force Pikachu to evolve if Pikachu doesn't want to, so he leaves the decision to Pikachu.
Yeah, it's pretty mature in a way. Like, he actually has some good understanding of what's going on here. Joy brings this up. Yeah, this will make him stronger, but it's permanent. Like, it's a one-shot kind of thing, and Pikachu won't be a Pikachu anymore.
I mean, you evolve your Pikachu usually in the games, but what do I know?
Yeah, in the games.
Maybe not by this point, but
I think that Ash is very progressive. He is advocating for Pokemon rights in a way, at least about this issue, in a way that the rest of the world ignores. Team Rocket is watching this whole scene outside the window, and they're so invested.
Yeah.
Meowth is like translating for him, and he's like, This isn't just about Pikachu. Pikachu represents all Pikachu and all Pokemon. This is a moral battle. And Pikachu's crying and James is crying, and it's so sweet.
Pikachu wants to beat Raichu just as he is in the name of all Pokemon.
Right.
All Pikachu.
So Pikachu has decided that, no, this is an issue that matters with me. My body, my choice. I'm going to fight Raichu as I am, and I'm going to show that evolution isn't the end-all, be-all. There's other ways to value worth, even if we're just talking about the competitive sport. There's other ways to succeed. Now, Brock is the actual strategist here, Ash is a moron, right? he gives love and support and, some progressive views, I guess. But Brock's like, you know what? I got an idea. And he does. It's a good one.
Yeah, Brock is the smart one here. He says something along the lines of like, did Surge say that he evolved his Raichu as soon as he could? Which is your hint if you played the games
your
that
hint for how to defeat him.
Raichu doesn't know any moves, any good moves past what we've seen already. So maybe we can use that to our advantage.
Right.
And then we're off to the gym again, except Team Rocket shows up. They're going to do something very dastardly now, right?
This is amazing.
Yeah, they start the motto off. Meowth tells them to shut up, because they're in a disguise for the first time. They've disguised themselves as Pokemon cheerleaders. They're to cheer on the brave Ash and Pikachu in their fight against Lieutenant Surge.
Now, this is amazing. They're doing this, like, they have these outfits on. They're doing this cheerleader song and dance. So Bulbapedia has their outfits listed as a reference to a pretty obscure gag manga that I actually couldn't find. Like, they used a name. I Googled it. I have not found that one. I think maybe Bulbapedia uses an English name, but you'd have to have the Japanese name. So I don't know that reference, but I do know their outfits are just a more common kind of long running sort of cliche. The big one, I want you to look up Jotaro Kujo from JoJo's Bizarre Adventure. So go to Google right now, Kellen. You got to see this guy. You got to see. Get excited. It's our podcast, damn it. So Jotaro. Jotaro. Just type in that.
Jotaro. Okay.
Yeah. Is this picture up?
Yeah.
Yeah, isn't that their outfits?
Kind
of. Oh my god. Viewers at home, it's Jotaro, right?
I don't know. Maybe.
What do you mean, maybe?
I don't know.
What's your deal?
I'm looking.
Do you even like our podcasts?
Those hats are totally different.
No, the hats are the same.
No, it's not. Not at all.
I think it looks the same. Look at the jacket.
Okay, the jacket you got.
Yeah, the jacket I got.
All right, whatever.
Come on. That's Jotaro as heck. And Jotaro came out in like 89. Very, very popular character in Japan. So I think they would have. I think that could be a JoJo's reference. JoJo's reference, people? Come on.
Is that a JoJo reference?
Is that wow, you even know the meme.
Yeah, some of my friends watch JoJo.
And you don't even know what JoJo's is, and you know the meme. I love Zoomers. They're back now.
Anyway.
Full support for Zoomers. JoJo memes.
Anyway, Team Rocket cheers on Ash and Pikachu and then run off, and Misty's funny because she shows that they've known it was Team Rocket the whole time. She says, "Thanks, Team Rocket," or "Thanks for the support, bye, Team Rocket," something like that.
Yeah, and they're like, how'd she know?
Yeah. It's a fun little Team Rocket moment.
Oh, I love it. And their whole cheering thing is very similar to like so in Japanese baseball games, like pro baseball games, they have these cheer sections where people will lead cheers for that side of the stadium. And like when you go to a game, you have to pick which side you're sitting in because they're split about what team's fans sit in which side. And then they have these like squads with the fans and with drums and with those waving flags like Team Rocket has here that then like cheer and hype up the fans.
Yeah, and one thing I noticed when they were cheering, Jessie's face looks fucking weird. She looks like a serpent kind of thing. It's if you didn't notice that, go back and look at it at some point. It's weird. Her tongue is all like wavy.
Is that a JoJo's reference?
Oh, maybe.
You all know what I'm talking about if you're a JoJo fan. The tongue. JoJo's reference.
Anyway, back to the gym. We're in for our second gym fight, and they're enacting a new strategy that doesn't seem to work because Pikachu immediately gets smacked with Raichu's tail.
Yeah, Raichu's sitting on him and just whipping him with it. Just pistol whipping him.
Raichu goes for a body slam, and then another body slam.
Here's where we get the turnaround.
And Ash says, "Pikachu, use agility!" And Pikachu zips out of there and is able to now outspeed the Raichu using agility.
Yeah, and that's when we learn the whole mystery here that they kind of solved, is that since Lieutenant Surge evolved the Raichu so quickly, the big weakness is that he's missing all these fundamental moves. Brock describes the speed moves as being really useful here. So now Pikachu's way faster than Raichu. His evasion's way up. He's dodging all this crap. He's awesome.
Yeah, which is not how speed works in the games.
Whatever, it's
Oh.
awesome. He's got pure ninja move.
It's good. It's good. It's a good TV.
And
That's
he's
for
got
sure.
Raichu tilted, right?
Mhm.
Raichu's like, shit, I gotta do something awesome. He uses the biggest thunderbolt ever that, like, shatters windows.
Give it a thunderbolt.
Yeah, you do it really good, Surge. You should play Surge in Pokemon the Musical.
Yeah, we get the confirmation. Brock knows that Stone Evos don't learn new moves, giving Ash the advantage. Surge goes for the Thunderbolt, destroys the
Thunderbolt.
stadium, and Pikachu is okay. Pikachu grounded himself with his tail.
I couldn't tell if this made sense. Does
Yeah,
that
me
make
neither.
sense?
No, I don't.
Whatever.
I don't know.
He's like standing on his tail. They use his tail as a lightning rod, or his head as a lightning rod, and the tail as a ground. I don't know, but he somehow survives.
When you ground yourself, doesn't that make electricity pass through you more?
Yes,
But you need the
but
ground in order to get electrocuted.
it goes right through your body though. Like if you have a ground, it will. Yeah, I don't know, but that's not good for bodies, right? We're not lightning experts. Shout us out in the comments. Are you a lightning expert?
If I get struck by lightning in midair, does that still destroy me, or what happened? Do I not feel the effect until I hit the ground?
That's not how it works.
I don't fucking know.
You know what? Your brother will listen to this episode and he'll teach us.
Yeah, probably.
We could probably Google this, but wild speculation is our best friend.
Yeah, whatever. And then we get
Team Rocket has
Team
a beautiful
Rocket's.
moment.
Yeah, we get Team Rocket's string of puns.
Uh-huh.
Take us through them.
I only wrote down the last one.
Oh.
What are the first two?
God. So Jesse says something about a shocking story, and then James, holding up his coughing, said it was quite a tale, which that made me curious because that makes no fucking sense why he's holding a coughing for that.
Right.
Which is a rewrite from the original Japanese, of course.
Yeah.
So in the original version, just reading off Bulbapedia, Jesse mentions that Pikachu uses his tail as an asu, meaning ground, and James replaces it with dogasu, which is the Japanese name for coughing. So that's why that's
Fits in
there.
there. So that's a pun in Japanese, doesn't work in English. But then Meowth responds with the best pun.
Yeah, he
he's
hits
ever
them
said.
both. He maims them both in the head.
And says, "You've both been punished."
Punished.
So, fourth wall, they know that they abuse and use puns. He's like, "We're the pun squad."
So we come back into the battle. Surge, once again, give it another thunderbolt. And Raichu is out of electricity.
Yep.
No more
You can
electricity.
use it up.
Yep. Pikachu goes in for the quick attack, and then some kind of tail move that we don't know what that is. It's not mentioned. And Pikachu has defeated the Raichu.
Dun, dun, dun.
Go Pikachu!
Ba-ba-da-ba.
For the first time, Ash has actually defeated a gym leader and earned the badge proper.
Yeah, although Brock did the thinking.
Mm-hmm. But Pikachu does the peace sign again. And I just love it.
So cute. Yeah, and Team Rocket walks into the sunset. They're like, we wasted this episode cheering for the good guys. More fourth wall breaking.
Yeah, and I noted before that, when Ash is being congratulated by everybody, there is some really cute music in the background. So if we pull soundtrack, I'm giving it a nice high score.
Nice.
But
Didn't
yeah,
catch that.
Team Rocket walks into the sunset. We spent the whole episode rooting for the good guys. And the narrator goes, yes, you did. And that is the episode.
Do you want a literary comparison?
Obviously.
Do you?
Obviously.
You want me to do my job on this podcast?
A little bit, yeah.
Is that the only way I get paid?
Yep.
Oh, wow. We don't get paid.
No, we don't.
Please pay us.
Get us a sponsorship deal. I would take a sponsorship for a deal
We got a
from
good
HelloFresh.
Canadian. We got a HelloFresh. What about that ball shaving one everyone does?
Manscaped.
Keep your balls shaved.
No,
Yeah.
I want a HelloFresh sponsor because I want free HelloFresh boxes.
Feed us, please.
I love it. It's so good. Anyway,
Okay,
go ahead.
a good Canadian one this time. Do you know which Canadian classic piece of literature I'm going to reference?
Nope.
So the theme here is all about being true to yourself, even when others expect you to be something different. It's Anne of Green Gables.
Oh!
Classic story about a
Look at
young girl adopted to people who wanted a son to work on the farm in Prince Edward Island. And Anne is the one that they get, and so she's kind of in this world of, hey, we expect you to be different, we wanted you to fit in differently, and she grows to make friends and have people love her doing her own thing. And it's really about staying true to yourself even when others have different expectations, which is exactly what Pikachu does throughout this episode by saying, I don't want to evolve. I want to be my own person and do things my own way.
How sweet.
And of Green Gables.
Look at that. When you said being true to yourself, my mind jumped to the "Be True to Your School" song by the Beach Boys.
There you go.
That was
Jotaro would like that.
That
song.
wasn't the reference you were going for, I don't think.
No, I don't know that song.
Yeah, I only know it because of Full House.
Full House.
Yeah.
Wow. You have the strangest non-Pokemon references. If they come up, it's The Masked Singer, it's Full House. Come on! Come on, this is bottom of the
That
barrel.
makes it fun, though. So you never know what I'm going to bring up next.
You never know.
All right, let's rate it.
Let's rate it.
First category for Electric Shock Showdown is... Ooh, fantastic. The animation.
It's pretty good.
Pretty good. I love the second battle. I think it's very entertaining.
It is really entertaining. It's an economical episode, though. It is a lot of stills, but they're used well. I do like how everything looks. And
there's that section. Yeah, there's that section where he leaves the center and he's like, "Oh, I see my lucky star," and it's like all glinty and glittery, and I think that's nice. And the fight looks good. An 8. I'm good with an 8.
The Jojo references.
Yeah, sure.
8.
All right, second category is the power of friendship.
Aww.
Sweet.
Yeah, I'd say 7.
Yeah, something like that.
So I'm saying a 7 because the power of friendship as shown in the episode is actually quite high, right? I do think that Ash and Pikachu have some realizations about each other, and they overcome this by being respectful of one another as friends.
Mm-hmm.
That being said, that I did have in mind of that category of more explicit moments of the power of friendship, as in shown in anime, they'll like explicitly talk about how we defeated you through the power of friendship. And so since that doesn't happen, don't think we can give full points.
Nah.
But it is a powerful theme in the episode, so I'll go with a 7.
Yeah, I'm good with that too. 7.5.
So the whole episode gets a 7.5. Wow, high ranked ones this week.
Even last week we had some pretty high ones as well.
We're growing soft.
Yeah.
They're warming up.
All right. Well, that's what we got for today. Those 2 episodes.
That is what we got. Do you want to tell the listeners what we're doing next week?
So next week, we'll be taking a look at 2 more episodes. We're looking at episode 15, Battle Aboard the Saint Anne. Apparently that's called, even though it's SS Anne in the games. And episode 16, Pokemon Shipwreck, which is kind of a little 2-episode arc here.
A little 2-episode arc at sea. It's our nautical episode. We'll get on our sailor outfits, like from JoJo's Part 8, and go to sea.
And then the week after that, get ready. We're continuing to tease it. It's our first band episode.
First band episode featuring
Exciting.
James's boobs.
Very exciting stuff.
Very exciting.
All right.
So you can find us wherever you find podcasts. I was actually told today, someone asked if we can be on Podbean, and isn't that funny? Because we have a conversation where we were like, "What's Podbean?" So I'm gonna look into that because
I thought that was something else.
Well, I'll look into Podbean, see if we can get on there. But we're on most of the major platforms: Stitcher, Amazon, Google, Spotify, iTunes. Please, give us a review if you can. Really helps the channel. And then we're also on YouTube. We'd love more engagement there, so comments, likes, however you want to interact.
Like, comment, subscribe.
Did you know that? Email us with suggestions.
Did you know that?
Delibird.
Did you know that a large percentage of my viewers aren't actually subscribed? So hit that subscribe button. It's free, and you can always change your mind later.
Who are you parodying right now?
That's just what a lot of YouTubers say these days.
We have become the YouTuber.
They throw up the a screenshot of their analytics.
Analytics.
Like, a large percentage of my viewers aren't actually subscribed. So look down.
Did you know
look
numbers?
Down and see. Yeah, it's
numbers
a
and things.
The thing that annoys me about it though is that in terms of the algorithm, you should be doing that, because apparently if you tell people to subscribe or you tell people to like, they actually do it more, which bothers me because I think people are smart enough to know when to do that themselves. But whatever.
Please like and subscribe.
Yeah, like and subscribe. It bothers me more when they do it at the beginning of a video rather than the end. But, still. Anyway, that's it for today.
We're doing it at the end.
We're doing it at the end.
Because it's the end.
The end.
Bye.